Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all ages, welcome to the newest edition of Wrestling Reality Rundown, starring me, the SKF Effect, and joining me is our Red Standard, Caesar, and over there is Liv, the queen of the Jurassic Experience.
Express, but it's okay.
I was teasing on the experience, that's why.
Okay.
But AEW and NXT killed it. Your thoughts?
Yes.
So I was kind of a little bit like, I don't know about you two, because I'm pretty sure you two were more on the AEW side, paying more attention to that one, but I kind of was like going a little...
playing at the same time.
I was kind of going back and forth. I kind of, because for the first 30 minutes, I was definitely more on the NXT side, watching Cole and Matt Riddle. I thought they had a great match. I also thought the main event on NXT was pretty outstanding as well. I thought the Street Profits came out looking like stars, especially the entrance with Wale. Everything in between NXT I thought was like, they had two pretty solid women matches and then two filler matches with Gargano and Pete Dunne. But overall, it felt like it had the feel of like a takeover for sure. But I think AEW for sure had the better show last night. Going in, I think there was more interest in AEW because, of course, like we already know what NXT is. We know what to expect from NXT. But AEW is kind of the fresh new upstart that everyone's curious about. So, of course, I think all of the attention would definitely have been on AEW, and they definitely had the chip on their shoulder to kind of prove themselves out the gate.
Speaking of fresh new upstart and kicking right off the gate, Cody versus Panda Boy.
I loved that match so much. That match was amazing. And I loved the fact that he got like some real heat. Like people were actually saying I wasn't too sure what was going on in the crowd because they were saying he sucks, and I don't really know whether they were actually like Sammy sucks as a wrestler or if it was like just a heat thing. But no matter what, any reaction is a good reaction. So the fact that he almost got booed out was like...
He did a great job drawing heat, especially when he pulled Brandy in the way of Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And just his athleticism in the match. He came out of there looking fantastic.
Yes. I feel like a lot of people have really underestimated him because I feel like he was kind of like a anomaly on the indies. You either like just didn't pay any attention to him or you just didn't like him. He didn't really have... He has a good fan base, but I feel like that's mostly because people watch his vlogs now, but I feel like now he just really proved himself, which...
I remember seeing him on, he's appeared on Impact.
Yeah. Remember we were at that show?
And I remember when he showed up on Lucha Underground. And I was really excited when I saw him show up on Lucha Underground because he really got to shine there. But this one match with Cody really helped elevate him, especially for the opening contest of TNT, helped put him in the spotlight to so many more people.
Mm-hmm. I really think he's amazing, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do, especially with the ending of the show.
Mm-hmm,
very excited for that.
We'll get to the ending of the show. Let's see, what was the next match that happened? It was MJF versus
Brandon Cutler.
Mm-hmm.
MJF is just the greatest heel of our time, honestly.
I'm about to say, which I'm not going to disagree on that one. He is amazing on the mic. I want you guys to fill me in some on this one because I'm not going to lie. At that point, I got more pulled into NXT because Mia was on.
Yes.
And then that becomes who do I have more loyalty to? So while I thought Mia put on a stellar match, what happened on AEW for this?
It was basically kind of like a squash match for MJF to kind of showcase himself in the ring, but more importantly on the mic. He's definitely got a ton of personality, especially as a heel, so I think he's definitely going to be one of the breakout stars for AEW going into their future, especially if they're, still going to go building up to that Cody match. Up to that Cody match down the line. Because me and discuss this because like that turn is definitely coming pretty soon. It's just a matter of when, and I can definitely see that turn coming at the pay-per-view.
It's gonna be a huge turn, which I'm excited to see how they do because like I mean like I was saying, he is. This is gonna be kind of a controversial comment, but I personally think he's the best on the mic. He's not necessarily the funniest heel on the mic, but he is absolutely the best. I mean, I don't know how much he rehearses it, but like the things that he says, like I just.
I mean, he reminds me of heel Ethan on the mic.
Yes, but
just
also
with not as much humor.
Ethan, yeah, I was gonna say Ethan puts in a lot of humor to his. He's not really he wasn't a heel. He's just really good on the mic. Even when he was a heel, he didn't do the things MJF did. He didn't get people to boo him the way that MJF did. Nobody hated him. Like people genuinely hate MJF, and I was excited because I got to see his curtain call match. And at the very end of the show, he did like a real as himself speech. And it was the craziest thing because he's like, you guys are not allowed to repeat anything that I said in this because I could get fired. Because he really broke down and just told his story and told us why he became a heel. And it was, I don't know, it was cool.
I do love though, and I sent it to you guys a while back, where MJF put on Twitter a little selfie of him and says, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And actor Joe Manganiello comes up with his muscle and fitness 8-pack abs going, I do.
Yeah.
Like, damn. And it got, pages were sharing that image. They didn't know who he was, but it still got his Twitter handle out there and got his image out there. To where even the thing I sent you guys where it says totally Rex guy hating on Dungeons and Dragons, that got a whole community of people who don't watch wrestling to possibly go look up this guy to see who he is, hating on it.
That's why I think, honestly, Amber's going to kill me for saying this if she ever watches this, but we have the new greatest right now. Seriously.
The new greatest what?
Steven,
No, Steven, stop.
The new greatest what, Liv?
No. I just want to put out there, I really enjoy, remember how, I don't know if they still do it or not, but when, for a little bit, SmackDown was doing the split screen when they were doing commercials and they would still show what was going on. AEW is doing that, and I love that. Because I feel like they're because when you go to shows, you see that there's a lot that you're not going to see on TV, and there are a lot of fun stuff too. So I feel like that just kind of adds. I feel like AEW's always said this, but it's the fan. It's for the fans. WWE is for entertainment.
And I like there was no commercial during the opening match.
Mm-hmm.
They waited until the post-match attack from Jericho to go to commercial. So then I didn't feel like you were missing out quite as much just watching Jericho do his attack and kind of goofing around as you did just having a commercial break during a match.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that was great on TNT.
And I feel like they really placed them nicely, whereas in WWE they'll literally just put them in in the middle of a match and they'll come back and be like, "Oh, well, this is what's going on right now."
And it'll have the same setup as always.
Advantage.
It'll always be the same setup to break too, the suicide dive or the dive over to the outside as well. And then who's gonna come back from this or whatever. It's always the same setup too. But I'm kind of the weird the weird one where it's I don't really get bothered by commercials on a TV show because it's a TV show, and I feel that's what kind of makes it different from when you watch a pay-per-view show.
So
I don't really feel it really ruins the pace because especially for me knowing they don't really do much during the commercial breaks as well. It's they'll just do simple stalling or whatever until they come back from break. So
yeah, I just don't like it just because it's a sport. You don't see while people you don't in basketball they wait to do the commercial breaks until they're taking a timeout or something like that, so you're not missing anything. I love wrestling, so I don't mind if we're taking a break in the middle of, like, right before someone starts their promo or just gives them an extra long entrance or something. I don't mind that break, but I don't like missing things. And I feel like wrestling is like every match is a story. So missing parts of the story, even if they're very like minor parts, still kind of sucks. I don't know. I don't really know.
Using story as a lead-in. Hooray for Riho becoming the first AEW Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was
Liv has no interest in the women's matches.
No, I love it. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they went about it. I feel like they only did that to satisfy Kenny Omega. Really.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see what they do. I mean, I love
Kenny came out to her rescue. Like,
what is it the announce? The announce says she's been wrestling since age 9.
Yeah, she's been wrestling for. They said she's 22 and she's been wrestling for 13 years. Yeah.
Since age 9. That's crazy. But we'll see what they do going forward. I mean, there are so many talented women on that roster.
See, and that's also the thing I feel like could get lost, because not that like people who from different countries should not get a chance, but I still feel like it gets lost on the audience when you can't really have much like dialogue from them, or like good dialogue. The best part about like building up champions are their promos. Obviously their defense matches, but like if they can't really sell you that they're champion, then. And I feel like that's why a lot of times like we loved Asuka as a champion, but she didn't do well on the mic because you were focusing so hard on translating what she's saying.
I'll say, but that did not affect her in NXT, because in NXT it was still more based on her in-ring skill.
Well, yeah, but
did it affect Shinsuke?
That's kind of what I'm saying.
But when they got up to main roster, suddenly something became a problem.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, though. Like I feel like it depends on what direction they go. We haven't really seen much for them as champions. Like Chris Jericho does a lot of run-ins, but like if you're a champion, then you shouldn't need to like run in and beat people up, kind of a thing. So that's kind of where I'm wondering where they're going to start to go with it. I mean, it's only the first week, so.
Yeah. Which then we'll jump to the other side with the Women's Championship of Shayna defeating Candice. I'm really disappointed in that one.
Yeah, when I saw you say that, I was pissed, because I was like, I don't even watch it, but I know Candice needs this.
At this point, I'm pretty sure Shayna has defended the title against every woman that is currently on the NXT roster that they could actually, put in the title picture, with the exception of like Chelsea, Deonna, and all the more recent signees.
Yeah.
Everyone that's been there and is somewhat established as an NXT women's competitor has already faced her and lost. Mia, Io, Bianca, unless they're going to bring Asuka back down like they did Finn.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's the only thing I'm not a fan of so far with what I've been seeing, is now NXT, though, is going to be the Finn show. Or like if Asuka gets brought down, it's going to be the Asuka show, and we're not going to see, like, we have a lot of like mid-card women's wrestlers right now that they'll put in matches, but like now we're not going to see, like, unless they get brought up, in which they're just going to go into oblivion anyways.
I think we'll see more people. I think in NXT we'll see a more healthy shuffle of people. I don't think it'll become the Finn show. I think Finn might get put in there against Adam Cole to help elevate Adam, but then he'll just be used to help work new talent. He doesn't necessarily have to put them over, but put them in matches that are going to make them look like stars.
I hope so. I'm just really skeptical of what they've been doing lately, so. Because like I see it all on Twitter, I just don't take the time out to sit down and watch it. So I'm like, just very skeptical, because they haven't done all these people right in the past. So.
And like I said, I'm sorry. Like right now, Shayna's at 1 year. You know that she won the belt back, so she's on her second reign, and she got the belt back at WWE Evolution last year. WWE Evolution. So I don't know what they're planning to do for her next.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot of it would have to do with Ronda, but now that she's gone, I'm like, because remember we were supposed to be getting the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen thing, but if Ronda's not coming back, then I don't know.
So let's hit the main events. On one hand, we had a 6-person tag team match with the Elite versus Jericho and 2 mystery tag team partners. Standard, you had some prediction on who they were?
I did. I actually, because I remembered, like, this was back in August, they announced this match.
One of the first 2 matches announced is a 6-person tag team match. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and 2 mystery partners.
LAX. You heard it here first. It's going to be LAX.
That is a very bold prediction from Caesar, but one that I think would be really cool. I think it'd be nice to have the start of LAX versus Young Bucks.
This was like well before LAX had even left Impact, like well before, and I made the bold prediction that it was going to be LAX. Who ended up being the partner? Santana and Ortiz. So here at Wrestling Reality Rundown, we break the scoops to you. We got you.
Whether we mean to or not.
Exactly. But yeah, I thought it was well before we go into that main event. Of course, we had the return of Jon Moxley to AEW. Of course, the last time we had seen him was one of those. I think he had a brawl with Omega before he got the elbow infection. So now, yeah,
no,
yeah, so,
whichever one was last.
Yep, Moxley came out, grabbed Omega, which I swear normally causes a disqualification. So it was interesting that the match did not come to an end at that moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
But and so then we got left with a 3-on-2, and I was a little taken back that nobody came out to like join the Young Bucks team. But all in all, it was a great match, and then it's always good to have a brouhaha take place. Let you know that insanity can ensue.
So my only thing with that is like I feel like they should have just left the match alone the way that it was and done all the stuff afterwards. Like I get that they want to build up Mox and Kenny if they're going to try and do it again, but like that match had the potential to probably be match of the year, honestly. With the 6 of them, probably the 6 most talented guys in different fields, obviously, that we have in wrestling. And we got like 3, 4, 5 minutes of it, and then all of a sudden Mox comes in and all hell breaks loose. I don't even remember what happened after Mox went through the whoever went through the table. I think it was Mox that went through the table, but
Mox's back, Kenny's head.
Okay, yeah. So I don't even remember anything after that until the second run in. So I'm like, why don't we just save that? Because Cody came in for the save, and like, so they ended up having the 3-and-3 kind of go with each other. So I'm kind of just like,
see, that's what I really thought. Like Cody was going to end up coming out and like joining the Young Bucks as a teammate.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know.
To be fair on, it was interesting that they kept the match going instead of a DQ. Good for PMP. That's where we're going. PMP for getting and Jericho for getting the win. And then, like Liv said, out comes Cody. And then to counter Cody, out comes Sammy. And then out comes Dustin. And as if Dustin didn't make the crowd freak out enough, out comes, what do we call it? Jack Hager?
Jake Hager.
Oh, Jake?
Yeah, that's his real name.
Oh, okay.
Which I was, there were rumors that he was going to be showing up. I was never really
from Booker T's mouth,
really
a competitor.
Biggest Jack Swagger fan. But I remember when he went over to Lucha Underground, dude's intensity picked back up. He was a real destructive force and closed out Lucha Underground as champion. So I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with him and this new group of Jericho, PMP, Jake, and Little Panda Boy. Which kudos to him.
I'm really excited
to not only put on a big match, but gain involved in a stable with those guys.
I'm really excited. I popped when I saw
former world champions and one of the greatest tag teams around, and then you have Sammy joining them.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to him for that one.
So, and I think that's kind of where we're gonna see MJF come into play as well, because he's gonna have like a real like self kind of realization moment, because that's like the heel group right now.
Mm-hmm.
The top heels that they've built up, but then you also have MJF. He was like the top heel in wrestling right now, but he's on the good group. So I feel like that's gonna try and that's gonna play a part, because he's already been tweeting about I would have been out for Cody or something about something weird like that, and I was like, huh.
He's been left behind.
Because it's what? Chris versus Cody?
Chris versus Cody at Full Gear.
I feel like we might see something there, especially if they've already built a stable like that.
As opposed to Half Gear.
I would not want, I don't know though, because I wouldn't want MJF to be like his spotlight kind of be lessened behind Chris Jericho or something. I'm excited though. I loved the ending of the match. I just kind of wish the Mox thing was really weirdly placed. I feel like they could have saved that for something next week, honestly. But I get
they wanted
him out on
big hype.
No, yeah, that's exactly. But that's kind of why I feel like it seemed so weird and rushed, because they wanted all this to happen in that one match. But I feel like just the placement of it, or even if he took out Kenny right in the very beginning of the match, kind of a thing, and they did their own thing, and just replaced him. I feel like it was odd.
Jump into the other side of the coin. Street Profits and Undisputed Era put on a hell of a show. Put on a killing for it. Which, all right, Caesar, Liv, one of y'all. I'm sure one of y'all can help explain this to me. One of y'all can help explain it to me. What's the smoke?
Huh?
What's the smoke? The Street Profits want the smoke? We want the smoke.
I feel like the smoke is probably where they get they're probably visiting the Rascals over on Impact as well as RVD.
You see, that's to me that's the smoke. But I can't picture them sitting there on Raw. I can't picture them sitting there on Raw going, "We want the smoke. We want the smoke."
So it's basically like a different version of saying "catch these hands."
Okay.
Or like they're saying "we want the smoke," like give us the come at us kind of a thing.
Okay.
Is that is that a Street Profit thing, or is that like a thing that people actually say?
No, people say that. The context is odd.
I'm old. Because it's catchy. It's catchy when they're sitting there going up. I'm like, what the hell's the smoke? So now Roderick Strong gets involved. He costs the Undisputed Era the titles. Or he costs the Street Profits the titles. I'm sorry. They celebrate in the ring. Adam Cole comes out. Adam Cole already had Finn Balor come up to him, stare at the championship, and say, as of this moment, Finn Balor is NXT. And then you had Ciampa show up.
Mm-hmm. As a babyface.
Ciampa show up and just stare at his poor lost Goldie, and then just wave.
Breaking, did we see? Sorry.
No, breaking news.
Title now referred to as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
I did see because it's being defended on NXT coming up.
Oh.
It's going to be defended next week, Drew Gulak and Lio Rush next week.
We had the same reaction. We both went, bleh.
But yeah, I thought NXT, for its first show, competing against AEW, because of course they've been on for the last 2 weeks. I think, they had two outstanding matches. The first match and the main event. I thought they had two solid women matches. But I felt like AEW definitely had a lot more to offer, considering it was their first show, getting all the characters across. The opening match with Sammy and Cody, I thought was, it was pretty decent, although, it was competing against a huge match like Riddle and Cole. But, for what they were trying to accomplish, having Cody and Sammy, having Sammy compete against one of the top stars, I thought, was very effective, especially considering the ending angle. So, Jake Hager debuting the company. I mean, like Steven mentioned, his accolades coming out of WWE. Lucha Underground, Bellator, undefeated in Bellator, I believe. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting enough, considering Bellator is a Spike product, and now Jake Hager's on TNT. So that's pretty interesting there. But I don't know. I just see Jake Hager, and it's just, how do you not think he's a WWE guy, even though I'm sure some would have said the same about Cody, it's just, I don't know, it's just still Jack Swagger, it's I feel there needs to be a different presentation to him. I don't know if Jim Ross, someone who scouted Jake Hager in WWE, I don't know if he's going to be able to kind of lend a hand in booking him, maybe, kind of give his, because I believe he's also there as a consultant as well. I don't know how involved, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, because the funny thing too, Jack Swagger, of course, a former World Heavyweight Champion, who beat Chris Jericho. So that's a little time in there.
I think they'll kind of book him as their resident big guy. I think it'd be cool to see something like him and Goldust go at it. It would be fun. Dustin. Because they don't really have big guys.
Mm-hmm. Other than probably Luchasaurus.
Yeah, but he's kind of booked up. They're not going to put him in anything, any single matches or anything.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston defending against Brock Lesnar.
I believe it's interesting, because I feel like there's going to be something to this. I don't want to believe Brock's going to win, because of course we have a pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. So.
We do?
Oh yeah, sure? We do. I'm pretty sure. I know WWE themselves don't know that, but we have a pay-per-view coming up. It's called WWE Hell in a Cell. One time the Hell in a Cell was one of the great matches that everyone looked forward to, instead of being just a prop that ends up being a disqualification finish, which I'm sure Steven will get into that. But
let's build that up. Let's get back to SmackDown, because not only do we have Brock versus Kofi, and we have the battle of the WWE Horsewomen with Charlotte and Becky versus Sasha and Bayley, which I swear we just had that on Raw a few weeks ago.
But it's fine.
So now they get to fight in blue. But you also have Stone Cold Steve Austin showing up. And along with Stone Cold, do you guys smell something? I'm smelling what The Rock is cooking, because he's actually showing up on SmackDown, The Rock's show, his namesake. Which, I mean, he could literally show up for 5 minutes, do a talk, and then leave, but that's still going to be cool.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's this isn't a Monday Night Raw anniversary reunion show, because considering Raw's 3 hours, this is a 2-hour show, and they have who else they have announced? They have The Undertaker, they have Goldberg, they have Sting, They have Lita,
So
Trish.
no wrestling on this show.
Wait, Lita?
Yeah, they announced Lita and Trish are going to be on the SmackDown show tomorrow, or today, depending on if it's uploaded.
Yeah, we're not seeing any wrestling tomorrow.
You're seeing 2 matches. It's going to be a lot of promotion, a lot of talking with 2 matches.
3 matches.
3?
The
What's
ladder
the
match.
Oh,
The ladder
yeah.
match.
There's a ladder match where the jobs, the careers of Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon are on the line.
Yeah, this SmackDown show is pretty packed. So, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet to me because, like, I actually do enjoy Shane. I like Shane. I don't like how much they, like, give Shane. I don't like how he gets, how they practically book him to be, like, this strong competitor at the expense of their own talent. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this is going to end up, of course, being Kevin Owens getting the win and Shane getting off of TV. But I don't want to see Shane get off of TV.
I look forward to Kevin Owens losing and then Caesar coming after me about my draft pick of Kevin Owens being an NXT person when he shows up back there, and how I'm suddenly one NXT person too much.
Oh wait, no, but that's a good. I didn't think of that. He could lose and go down to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be, they could bring back KO and Finn Balor. That rivalry, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm already in it. Ooh, damn! I'm glad we did the draft when we did, or Finn would have counted as an NXT person. Ooh, I beat that deadline.
When's the AEW draft though?
Huh?
That will probably, we could do that next month.
Because
we're doing those.
Second season. Because right now I'm gonna use mine and Caesar's draft picks for my first season of 2K20.
Okay.
Like, I actually liked our draft picks that much.
But going back to SmackDown tomorrow, because the 4 Horsewomen match is just a match for mainstream sake. But I feel like the main event though. I mean, I really don't. I don't know if it's denial, but I really don't want to think Brock's gonna win. I mean, I could see something happening where they'll have a rematch on whether it be Hell in a Cell or the Crown Jewel Survivor Series pay-per-view. I don't know. I just don't want to think that Brock's gonna win, although there is a good chance of that happening. But I still want to believe Kofi's gonna somehow find the way to win.
Come on, Ray.
I feel exactly because I feel like Brock's got some other stuff that really doesn't necessarily involve the championship. Like we saw in Raw, Rey Mysterio and Dominic both got destroyed by Brock.
Mm-hmm.
So
meanwhile, I want to toss this out real quick as an interruption. Deadline Hollywood. All Elite Wrestling Dynamite is TNT's biggest broadcast premiere in 5 years. Kudos to AEW.
What did they say was the highest broadcast premiere? Did it say?
I didn't say what that was. That's just a quick article headline that caught up. That they were the biggest broadcast premiere in 5 years.
Huh.
So that's definitely good for AEW.
Good enough for WWE to even send them congratulations.
Yeah, that was cool.
Back to Kofi keeping the title because Rey Mysterio is definitely going to interfere and rock the match.
Yeah, I kind of could see something like that happening because, again, denial. Just that I don't want to see Kofi lose his championship. I think there's still money in Kofi as champion. I think he's been the best booked champion that they've had in since forever, especially considering it's his first championship reign. And he's been looking good. He hasn't looked bad in any of these feuds that he's had. And like I said as well, the Rey Mysterio Brock Lesnar feud does not need a championship. The story's already there. Brock's, he fucked up his son, and Rey's coming back for revenge. So
bingo, it makes sense story wise. So fingers crossed. But so now we can fast forward to Sunday night, where we have the show called Hell in a Cell, a pay-per-view no less. And as of 8:03 p.m. Thursday night,
Eastern,
there are only 3 scheduled matches for this show. One being the match we've all been waiting for. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus the tag team of Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan? What?
Yeah, this was I don't know. I kind of don't want to see Daniel Bryan go back as a babyface. I think he's been great as a heel. It's just odd that, pairing him with Roman, I think that was originally the idea, I believe, just to have Bryan versus Roman, but somehow Rowan got the push because there's something about Rowan, I think. Steven, correct me, what is it about, Vince that, why would you think Vince would push Rowan more than Daniel Bryan?
Vince McMahon likes big, sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big, sweaty men. And let's face it, with Luke Harper, Rowan, and Roman Reigns, Vince is in heaven right there with that one.
But, yeah, it's just, I think at this point, I think Roman and Daniel are going to get the win in this one.
It just really sucks that Daniel Bryan. No. Daniel, turn on Roman. Do not be a face. No. You've been a beautiful heel for the last year. We don't need you back as a babyface right now.
Especially with Vince in more control, because, I don't know, in this draft, I could see Bryan staying on SmackDown, and I'm sure Vince is going to be more control of SmackDown than he is of Raw. Especially if, Paul Heyman has a lot more influence now with Raw than Eric Bischoff does with SmackDown, because from the reports we've seen, Bischoff is still not doing anything on SmackDown.
And then we have Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks inside of Hell in the Cell. Now, this is the first women's Hell in the Cell in 3 years, since the first one. I get how we like saying that, so-and-so has experience in the match. So they've been hyping that Sasha Banks has experience in this match. But
he's the Undertaker of this match.
Experience only goes so far when you had one match. You lost that match, and that was 3 years ago. So that's been 3 years since you've competed inside of this structure. Your experience is out the window, pretty much. I don't think fighting inside Hell in the Cell is it's getting back on a bicycle.
It's like Vietnam.
So.
But yeah, this is one I think it's just going to be. I haven't sensed any real buzz going into this one, but I'm still looking forward to this match. I think it's still going to be a great match coming from these two. It'll be interesting to see because, again, it's the last pay-per-view ended in a DQ, so I do see a finish for this one. I do see this one getting a finish. It's just interesting to see where would they go because I feel like Sasha has cooled down since her return, so I'm probably going to say Becky's going to continue this reign. Who she feuds with after, I think, is all dependent on who gets drafted where. I feel Becky is pretty much feuded with pretty much everyone. Who has she not really? Who has she not feuded with that you could easily just put in that title picture? To me, it's I would say Asuka because you kind of could continue on. Asuka was the one that beat her at the Rumble. Becky never beat Asuka.
Zelina, Carmella.
They're not gonna put them against Becky.
I'm just saying. But sadly, I feel like Bayley is gonna get involved. She's gonna cost Becky the match. Sasha will walk away as Raw Women's Champion. Becky is going to go to SmackDown in the draft, and Becky is going to end up going after Bayley in the SmackDown Women's title. Because Fox has already come out and said that they want the man.
And they also wanted Bray Wyatt too, but I don't see that one happening.
Fox wants a lot of people, but I think they'll draw on certain people for it. The match that came out of nowhere and seems a bit rough. And in this one, part of it seems rushed, but part of it seems well deserved, and like it should have happened a long time ago. It's Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, inside of Hell in the Cell. Now, yeah, it seems really rushed for the Fiend to be involved inside of a Universal title match. But, god damn it, Bray Wyatt deserves this. So I'm really torn on this one.
Yeah, I feel it's too soon. I feel there should have been a lot more to build upon, because I don't want to see him lose, of course, but I don't feel like right now is the right time for him to kind of go for the championship. Especially because it's I feel there's still enough momentum to build off of that before you can get to that championship match. Because one of the ideas that I had thrown out there is what if they were to have done Undertaker and Bray at the Saudi show?
Yeah.
Because we know Undertaker's going to be on that. So
here's two questions for this one. Well, not one statement, one question. I like one thing I read that said one reason why the Fiend may walk out as Universal Champion is that's going to help push Halloween sales on WWE Shop. Because now your Killer Clown is your champion.
My only concern is that it would be if he wins the championship as the Fiend, what happens to Funhouse Bray Wyatt?
Oh, Funhouse Bray Wyatt just has the championship set there on the table while he's doing his gimmick.
Yeah, but how would he be defending it?
On pay-per-views.
He's not gonna. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Fiend matches on Raw. I don't think that's for sure. You want to save.
My only question is how they're gonna
How'd they do it for Brock? How'd they do it for Brock? Brock stayed at home.
Brock was never anything complex. Brock's just Brock, and he can do whatever he wants because he's
Bray's gonna sit there in the Firefly Funhouse with the Universal Championship set on the table. Ramblin' Rabbit's gonna show up in between the title and preach.
No, I think it's a good idea. I just hope that's what they do. Because
when someone goes into a feud, the Fiend will do what he's been doing. He'll randomly show up. He'll randomly attack. He might have a match on Raw, but then it'll be for the pay-per-views. Yeah.
No, I think that's a good idea.
But now I go back to my question I was going to ask. Maybe because they want the Undertaker there. Is Saudi going to have any problems with the Killer Clown of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, showing up there for blood money?
I don't think so, because they already promoted the Fiend being there at that show.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the poster.
They had the Demon. They had the Demon Finn Balor show up there, so I guess the money's right for the Fiend.
I'm also a little concerned about the Fiend, only because obviously they wouldn't have him on shows that much, but they do have a big following of younger kids, and I feel like the Fiend could be too scary for kids. That's my concern.
Apparently the Fiend's too scary for adults. They've been running the Fiend doing jump scares on normal television for commercials.
No, I know.
It's freaking adults out there. What the hell was that? But we'll see. We'll see. Personally, I would not mind the Fiend walking out as champion. I just don't know. I can see both sides of the coin about how it can be a good and bad thing.
Steven, we kind of brought this up a little bit earlier. We kind of teased this a bit, and you brought this to my attention. But apparently, there's a poll on WWE's Twitter.
Oh,
asking, what would be the finish of this match?
Zip. So let's go back to last year. Braun Strowman cashed in his Money in the Bank against Universal Champion Roman Reigns for a shot at the title inside of Hell in the Cell. It's a Hell in the Cell match. The only way the match is supposed to end is by submission, by pinfall.
Escaping the cage.
No, you can escape the cage and it still goes on inside Hell in the Cell.
Oh.
But
escape the cage.
But Brock Lesnar runs out. Brock Lesnar tears the door down. He attacks Braun and Roman. He leaves. And the match gets counted as a no contest. What the f***?
Beep.
So now,
Stand by.
2018, Hell in the Cell. What does WWE do? They run a poll on their Twitter account saying, how do you think this match is going to end? Pinfall, submission, or disqualification? Caesar, do you have the censor button ready? Do you have it ready? It's a goddamn Hell in the Cell match, WWE. There's not supposed to be any disqualification in this goddamn match. You're supposed to let anything happen. Anything goes. How the are you going to try to even suggest that this match could end in a disqualification?
My God, this guy ran it, and last week when I ran, we gotta break the damn service. But,
no, just go on standby. Just do that standby screen, the like colorful.
So there you go. How I don't want that. I do not want to accept that this match is going to end in disqualification.
Do you guys remember when? Oh God! Do you guys remember when Undertaker tossed off Mick Foley off the Hell in a Cell, and then Undertaker
and Mick Foley kept going with the match. It didn't end in disqualification or no contest. Foley got up and got pinned.
Remember when Triple H hit Batista with a barbed wire steel chair and then got disqualified after that? Oh wait a minute, that doesn't happen. That's right, because the Hell in a Cell is no rules. Or that time when Undertaker tossed off Rikishi and through the bed and he got disqualified.
Onto a fucking truck bed of hay? Yes.
Remember when Ed speared Undertaker through the cell wall and they got counted out? Oh wait a minute, that didn't happen either. Because again, the Hell in a Cell is it's no rules. I don't like this new cell rules.
Remember when Jeff Hardy did a Jeff Hardy thing and jumped from the ceiling of the cell onto crashing through a table, and he didn't get a no contest. He still got fucking pinned.
Remember when Randy Orton put a screwdriver in Jeff's earlobe and got disqualified after that and got suspended? Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you, WWE's YouTube, for reposting that match. I think they even edited that part out too.
Fuck that shit.
So thank God for that. But yeah, I don't like the idea of there being a disqualification for your Hell in a Cell match. The match that changes careers, that can start careers and end careers or whatnot. The match that's it's Satan's prison, but ooh no, we can't do that. That's too extreme. Oh, I'm sure that's what that's what the devil's kind of going with it. Oh no, he hit him with a chair. Oh my God, no, that's too much.
Yeah, it makes it's crazy.
But the fact that even WWE is bringing that idea up is kind of ridiculous. So I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping, but then again, it's what else can you really do? It's you either rush the Fiend into a championship or you have him have his first loss. So I think it's gonna be the Fiend winning in the end. I really hope Braun doesn't come in and do the Brock thing from last year too, but we'll see about that. I just, Liv says, I wonder how they book him as champion because, he's going to have to do those Firefly Fun Houses every week, I guess. And it's does that get old? Do you bring the Fire Fun House to a live setting? It will be interesting to see how they book him as champion. Because I don't see him doing matches on TV. I don't see him doing, the monologues that you see on Raw every week. So it's definitely going to be a lot more different. So I think now that I'm thinking about that, it's him as champion is going to be something of a different presentation. So I would like to see him win this one and see how they're going to present it going forward. Someone's food's ready.
Oh, that was my computer. Sorry.
I was and that was the end of the show.
Time's up.
Ting!
That's my monthly allotted time. I mean, weekly.
Seriously, I kind of think that was the end. So we covered NXT, we covered AEW. It's going to be fun going forward now because we are going to have so much more stuff to talk about, to discuss, and stuff to look forward to.
one last thing to add, because like this is one thing that's always bothered me with AEW. They always have to do this, and I'm glad that they didn't do this. They didn't do any like counter programming against like NXT. Like we always see them take shots at WWE or do any parody. Like I'm glad that they stayed away from that, because it's like now you're your own promotion. You have your own weekly television show. Concentrate on that and stop concentrating on what the competition is doing, because I think that was the one thing that Impact suffered from a lot, was just trying to like one up WWE on their own storyline, or copying their own stuff. So I think now they have. I'm hoping that they're cutting that stuff down. So I think that's a positive.
All right. Any other final thoughts, Liv?
Nope.
I know Liv is going to be able to bring us a live report from AEW next week and her adventure. Yes. So we look forward to hearing from her about how her experience was in the crowd, how the crowd reacted, how it seemed live compared to what might have been televised for what we see.
Let's close this off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for checking us out this week. We're appreciative of you checking us out. We hope you enjoyed the content that you did, and if you did, there's a little like the subscribe. Yeah, click on it. Yeah, just click on it real quick. Okay, so then like after you did that, there's a bell, like there's a bell icon right there. That's gonna let you get notifications every time we upload a video. Like this one, like one of our weekly podcasts, whether it's gonna be one of Steven's universes or a video of Steven getting hit in the head by a tiki head. That will get you notified every time you get one of those. I'm hoping you're recovering well, Mr. Effect, from the brutal attack.
Feeling a lot better. Things have recovered.
I'd recommend you check your back. You watch yourself, because I believe Mr. Ichiban came to us on our draft video last week saying that he was joining your side now after my draft pick. So that's it's kind of interesting, considering the last time he was like on your side. So you better watch your back,
yeah.
Steve.
Always do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, by the way, one other thing, the like button. Okay, thanks. Thank God. All right. Follow us on Twitter at SKSEffect, at LiveLive1122, at The Red Standard. Test. 1, 2.
3, 4.
3, 4. Jinx.
Going live in 3, 2. Steven does the intro. 1. Go, Steven.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all ages, welcome to the newest edition of Wrestling Reality Rundown. Depending on when this gets uploaded, viewers, SmackDown should have taken place already.
There's a good chance I probably upload this tonight, considering we're only 30 minutes in.
Ooh, okay. Then, by the time this gets uploaded, viewers,
SmackDown will be the John Cena gimmick.
SmackDown will be coming up.
You guys remember when Undertaker tossed off the Undertaker? I'm just gonna toss off Undertaker. What's wrong with me?
The Undertaker tossed off the Undertaker?
And you can follow FL on Instagram at WR Rundown, and we'll chat with you next week. We'll chat all the happenings from the Smack.
And Caesar's frozen. That's how we're closing off the show, because we needed to get one more good blooper in to close off the show. Caesar has now frozen.
Oh gosh. Caesar.
This is filming, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to showbiz.
The struggles you deal with.
All right.
I mean, I'm wondering if he's going to come back. Do we just go off?
We can just cut this part out.
I feel bad leaving him frozen right now like this. As hysterical of the facial expression is of... It's going to be all the better as if he can still hear everything that I'm actually saying.